Hey folks, my name is Arlen, and like TNG, the other guy who is going to do Mondays from now on, I am from Norway. And also, like him, my first review is going to be of a movie made partially by a former rough cutter. Namely Best Worst Movie, which was shot and edited partially by Katieblog. Who happens to be the first YouTuber who I ever met. She's made a rough cuts video about this movie before, basically begging you all to go see it, but if you did not, fear not, because I will beg you more. Best Worst Movie is about Troll 2, which has absolutely nothing to do with Troll, and which has no trolls in it. Troll 2 is a 1990 Italian-American horror movie, I guess, but it has no real horror. About not trolls, but goblins. Goblins who are vegetarians and who therefore turn humans into plants and eat them. It's been called the worst movie of all time, and it has a real fan following of people who just love to see it, because while it is truly horrible, it's insane and it makes no sense whatsoever. And I've seen it probably 10 times. Anyway, that was an enormous digression, because more than anything else, this movie is about George Hardy. That dude. He's a dentist from a small town and everyone seems to love him, and he's immediately extremely likable. And around the beginning of the movie, he discovers that there is a huge fan community around Troll 2. And so he begins going to conventions and screenings, and he has a lot of fun with it. And the movie kind of evolves from there. It's about his journey and kind of a narrative set around him, at the same time as it tracks down a bunch of cast and crew from Troll 2. One of the actors was on a break from a mental institution at the time that the movie was shot. There were practically no professional actors at all in the movie. Unlike a lot of fan documentaries, this movie seems to have a real narrative to it, and there's this constant emotional structure throughout the film, which is very nice for people who are not initially fans of Troll 2. Because there's actually a story being told that's very funny and it's very emotional, and I know it's a cliche to say that I laughed and I cried, but I did laugh and I almost did cry. And I just saw this movie on a TV in my room. There are a bunch of scenes with the Italian director behind this movie, whose name is Claudio Fragasso, and it's kind of fascinating to see how he responds to the fandom around this movie, because he truly believes that he's made a great film, and he sees that people really enjoy his work, but not for the reasons that he intended. And the scenes featuring him are hilarious at the same time as they're really heartbreaking. And really, this is a very watchable documentary. I've seen it twice already, and I'll probably see it a bunch more times, because it's really, really funny, and it's also very honestly emotional. So I give this a rating of 8 out of 10, and you should definitely see it. It kinda got lost this year because there are so many good documentaries coming out. There's Catfish, and there's Exit Through the Gift Shop, and there's the movie about sheep, which you should see, whose name I can't recall. And there's I'm Still Here, which turned out to not be a documentary, and there are a bunch more. It's been a great year for documentaries. So please buy this movie, support this incredible independent production, and support Katie, not least, because while she does not make any money off of this, she might get work from it.